All right, guys. As promised, I told you I would upload a key for assignment number 2. And I'll tell you, this is the third time I've started this video because allergies are just flat out kicking my tail, and every time I get into it, I start coughing so badly that I don't want to annoy you with all my coughing, so I stop it and start over. So I'm usually getting through like 1 or 2 problems, so hopefully this will be the one. Here's what I got going on. I've got the data set that you used. I put it on the desktop as ACT, and you'll see I've already got this data set into R. Also, I've got the overhead here, and this is where I'll go back and forth. So we will use that. And along the way, I downloaded the cut point code that I pointed out in an earlier video. So this will be a whole lot of typing here. I don't want to type all that stuff. I'm just going to copy and paste and go from there. Now, something I'm finding kind of interesting, I'm going to call some of you out here, and I usually don't do that, especially in a graduate class, but I'm going to. When you watch these videos, it is super important that you go through this kind of stuff with me. That way, if there is a problem with compatibility of these packages, you're going to find out when you're watching the videos. If you wait until you do the assignment to try all this stuff out, then sometimes it's too late, I guess you can say. So, you should be watching these videos throughout the week, not waiting until just kind of ram them all in before you submit your assignment. That's not the way this class is intended to be delivered. Okay, so. All right, enough of that. Darbro will get off of his mean horse, as my daughters would say. All right, again, let's do it. Problem number 1 says use logistic regression. Let me bring it up for you. If you don't have a copy of it, I'd print it out, or at least have it on your computer. Use logistic regression techniques to predict ACT from parents' education level. Does including parents' education level significantly improve the intercept only or the null model? Well, gang, what I'd want to do here, first thing, once I get my data in, something I like to do is I like to, well, you have to attach it, first of all, but I like to look at the names of the data just to see the way the variables are presented. And you see we have ACT parent and public, and it's all capitalized, so that's something I'll keep on my mind. So the first thing I'd want to do here is I'd want to create a null model using GLM, ACT as a predictor of a constant only, and the family is binomial. Now, I could do summary of the null, but that's not interesting to me. Now what I want to do is I want to change this. I was coughing so bad a while ago, Dr. Whitaker brought me some cough drops. So I've been speaking of, excuse me. Well, guys, I tell you what, I'm not stopping this video. Whatever's going on, you guys will just have to listen to me cough. So we are predicting on parents' education level, which is parent. So what I want to do here is I want to create my test statistic. And I'll do that by taking the null deviance minus my model 1 deviance. And I want to create my degrees of freedom. And I'll do that by taking the null degrees of freedom for the residuals. That's not right. Minus the model 1 degrees of freedom for residual. All right. Now what I want to do, let's just take a look at the test statistic. So it's 32.09, and the degrees of freedom, of course, are going to be 1 because we have one additional predictor from the constant only model. So what I want to do now is I want to calculate my probability, and I can do that by taking 1 minus the p chi-square. I should be using notes, but I just want to see if I can get through this without it. And I want my test statistic for my degrees of freedom. So my probability is going to be extremely low and significant at the 0.001 level. So what I'll have over here, and I'm going to go ahead and write this down so I don't forget it. So I'm going to have chi-square degrees of freedom for 32.094 and a p-value less than 0.001. So let me bring that up for you so you can see it. Most of you got this right, so it's not going to be any surprise to you. Now, what does including parents' education level significantly improve? So yes, including parents' education level. Significantly improves the intercept only or the null model. So logistic regression is kind of a classification procedure. We're trying to determine whether student has an ACT below 28 or 28 and above. This tells us that looking at their parents' education level in terms of making this prediction is better than just flipping a coin. Now, part B, report and interpret the 95% confidence interval for the odds ratio. Now, we can get the odds ratio by doing a calculation of e to the beta. Now, in this situation, in this model, where's R? Oh, there it is. We can do a summary model, what do we call that, model 1? Yeah. And we can see that the beta is 1.895. So going back to this, we can go, which I've already done there. I already had it up for you. I had a coughing attack here, so that's why. So I have 6.616. A lot of sixes there. That makes me very uncomfortable. All right, but what if we don't want to do it that way? Well, what we can do is we can use R, if we can find it. And what I could do there is I could do EXP of the coefficient of the model. I don't know why is that. Oh, shoot. Model 1. And you can see we get the same 6.16 as we did before. But this problem is actually looking at the confidence interval. So you can see the confidence interval ranges from 3.344. I'm going to write this down. Up to 13.788. Now, go back over here and you can see that I've written this down. Now, what's this tell us? Because, I'll tell you, not only report it, that gets you, I think this question was worth 5 points, that gets you 2 points. Your interpretation gets you 3 points. So your interpretation tells you what? Somebody said there's a 0.95 probability odds ratios in here. No, there's a 100% probability 6.6 is in this interval. But what the confidence interval is doing for us, it's generalizing this odds ratio to the population. So we would say something here in terms of the interpretation of the 95% confidence interval. There's a 0.95 probability that the odds of scoring a 28 or higher on the ACT is okay. Let me back up here. The odds of scoring an ACT of 28 or higher, given that the student has a parent who attained a college degree, is between 3.34 and 17.79 times higher than if neither parent attended a college degree. All right, so again, remember these interpretations are from zeros to ones. That's why you code them this way, so you get your natural baseline. So our dependent variable here, we focus on the 1, which is 28 and above. All the coefficients are relative to the 1, and then the 1's also in our predictors. Now, all right. Oh God, you guys, not my best day. Using logistic regression techniques, run a second model that includes school data. So let's go do that. All right, so I'm just going to go up and get the work I've done before, and I'm just going to call this model 2. And I just want to come in and add, what do we call that? Public. Now I can look at summary model 2. And I can see that when I throw the type of school into our model, parent still is statistically significant, but public is not. You might say, well, it's close, but in this wacky industry that we have that treats 0.05 as being so grand and holy, it's not below 0.05, so it's not a significant predictor. But that doesn't mean that including this didn't significantly improve your model. So we'd still want to run through and do what we did before. So our test statistic will run from model 1 to model 2. And then we want to go get our degrees of freedom. Then we're going to go up and get our probability, and then we'll look at our probability. So our probability is 0.0611, and let's get our test statistics so we can report it. And of course, our degrees of freedom will be 1. So 3.505. All right. So we would say that the chi-square degrees of freedom, I think 3.505. Is 0.06. So including parents, including school. Oh gosh. Does not make a significant improvement on the model that just included public. So, calculate and interpret the odds ratio for both predictors. So let's get out of here and go do that. It's going to be very easy to do since we've done it before. So we can get both odds ratios. And we can get our confidence intervals. Now, I'm just going to demonstrate this for public. So for public, the odds ratio is 2.004. And the confidence interval is 0.97 to 4.25. So I wrote this down over here so I wouldn't forget it. So what I would say there, again, the interpretation, I would say controlling for parents education level, there is a 0.95 probability that this interval contains the odds of a student getting a 28 or higher on their ACT if they attended public school versus private school. So, since one, that's kind of the baseline comparison there. If one is in your interval, then you do not have significant predictor. So the variation that we have in terms of getting an ACT above or below 28 is primarily due to the parent's education level and not the type of school that they attended. And something just hit me. I didn't make this data up. This was a data set that I found someplace, and it just hit me. I screwed the coding up. The coding should have been 0 should have been public, and 1 should have been private. But I don't think I did that. For the sake of working through this problem, it's not a major deal. All right. Show the calculations for the probability that student number 1. I remember from earlier, student number 1, the parent, neither parent attended college, and school. This kid attended a private school, and again, I know now that I've reversed those. So, but hey, we work with what we've got. So, what we know here is the probability that y is equal to 1, which in this case is the probability that ACT is equal to 1. And what do you think when you see this? 28 or higher. Can be found by taking e to the beta 0 plus beta 1 times parent plus beta 2 times school. And so what we're going to have here, we have 0 and 0, so we put a 0 in there and a 0 in there and a 0 in here and a 0 in there. Really what we get is just the intercept. So if we go back to our model and look at the output for beta 2, or for model 2, oh gosh, what's going on here? We can see that the intercept is negative 0.5391. So negative 0.5391. And you can put that in your calculator very easily. Okay, maybe not so easily. So I can take the answer divided by 1 plus the answer, and I get 0.368. So the probability of this kid having this kid and every other kid whose parents didn't go to college and came from a private school, there's a 0.368 probability of getting an ACT above 28. Guys, I don't care about this. I really wish I hadn't even put this in. I didn't even count off if you guys missed that one. I didn't aim for this to be in there, so I'm not even going to do it because it's not that important to me now. Part G, use the model with both predictors, calculate the sensitivity, specificity, and PAC. Even in coughing attacks, I still have a hard time saying specificity. All right, gang, so what I want to do here is I want to create my fitted values. Then I want to come in and access the library. I've already installed the packages. So that's another thing I can find out. When you guys tell me, well, I'm trying to do my homework and I'm installing the packages. If you did what you should have been doing when you're watching the assignments, you should have already installed it. And if there's any problems, then you'll know. All right, so confusion matrix, we want our ACT over a fitted 0.5. All right, so guys, our sensitivity is going to be 80 divided by 105. And our specificity is going to be 47 divided by 71. And our PAC is going to be 47 plus 80 over 47 plus 80 plus 49. I hope my coughing isn't getting too annoying. Well, it is for me. So 80 divided by 105 gives a sensitivity of 0.76. And 47 over 71 is 0.66. And percentage of accurately classified cases is what? 127 divided by 127 plus 49. So 72.2%. So if you were doing something publication, in terms of a publication, that's that's a reasonable percentage of cases that are accurately classified by your model. So not too crazy. All right, now what cut point is the difference using the minimized difference threshold between sensitivity and specificity minimized. So what we want here is we want our threshold sensitivity and specificity. Now, remember, the sensitivity is a Y value. The specificity is their X value. And the threshold is our alpha value. So let's go do that. This will be just a load of fun. I can't even say that without laughing. All right. So what I want to do is I want to go split screen here because I want to do copying and pasting. I do not want to get a situation where I have to type this stuff myself. Not fun. All right, gang, there it is in front of you. And I can do library, optimal cut points. That's weird because I've actually installed that previously, so they must have made some modifications to it. Well, maybe not. I may have used it on a different. All right, so let's access the library and we're ready to go. So next thing we want to do is install packages ROCR. And install the library. Now, next thing I want to do is I want to go over here and I'm going to copy and paste. And as I explained to you in the previous video, well, I actually demonstrate this the first time. We take the fitted, but we take the fitted of our model. We call that model 2. And then data $, our response variable of what we're predicting. Now the next thing I'm going to do and everything stays the same. I can do names. This really isn't that important, but let's just stick with the game plan. And then I want to go with slot names. This something I was kind of proud of. str stat 1. And do stat 1 alpha values. And then we get fun. And then we're going to plot. I really don't care about the plot yet. Although, I'll tell you what, let's just go ahead and stick with the game plan. So we get our very ugly plot. Yeah, that's just not the swiftest thing. Now we're going to get into the fun part, which values actually do what we want them to do. So now that 4 is really important, because from here on out, I'm going to put an S in the front, aren't I? Where I see 123, I got to replace it with the which man value. All right, so that's interesting. That's interesting. And that's interesting. The reason it's interesting is something I'll talk about in just a second. Now, this down here, let's go ahead. Alpha values 1 should be 4. All right, so that's what we end up with. And you will copy and paste that into your document when writing up logistic regression. But what we know from these values right here is we know that the alpha value, the threshold, is 0.539. Now before, we set the threshold at 0.50 back when we when we did the confusion matrix. We set our threshold at 0.5. This difference, minimized threshold difference between specificity and sensitivity is minimized at 0.539. And when that happens, we get an X value, well, sensitivity, let's just start here, 0.76, and a specificity of 0.66. So notice that, and I'll point that out in just a second, notice that there's not much difference. It's just, down to rounding. At the hundredths position, there's not much difference in the sensitivity and specificity when we change our threshold from 0.50 to 0.539. So it's what we could do. We could go back up and do our confusion matrix and put 0.539 there. And you can see things change. What? Not at all, right? Yeah. So the threshold that we use is kind of the go-to of 0.50. Worked out extremely well in the end goal. All right. Now let's go back to this and get this final part wrapped up, and I'll go somewhere and just cough the rest of the day. All right, gang, and let's see, I don't remember this. Okay, so we got thousands. I haven't got this far in any of my videos. Contingency table is taken from survey gender and marijuana use. So found the odds marijuana was given, marijuana use given the student as a boy. So we had tunnel vision right there, so using would be 2436 over 4331. So 0.56. And the odds of marijuana use given a girl, so that would be 2213 over 5391. So 0.41. Now, the odds ratio is given by what we've classified as 1 to be. So we are focusing on marijuana use because that would be the dependent variable, and we're predicting that in terms of gender. So the odds ratio would be the odds of a boy using marijuana, the odds ratio of a boy using marijuana over the odds ratio of a girl using marijuana. We always have tunnel vision on whatever our dependent variable is coded as 1. So essentially we're going to have 0.56 over 0.41. So about 1.37. So the interpretation here would be the odds of a boy using marijuana are 1.37 higher than a girl using marijuana. Well, guys, I am so glad this is over. It's the third time. I just want to go cough somewhere. So have a good day.